Atlanta is the capital of Georgia and the beating heart of the American Southeast, a sprawling, tree-covered metro of more than 6 million people built across the rolling Appalachian foothills. The city proper holds around 500,000 residents, but the real Atlanta is the metro region, the sixth largest in the country and still growing fast. It sits at just over 1,000 feet of elevation, about 300 meters, high enough that the summers stay a shade milder than the coastal Deep South. One number defines Atlanta more than any other. It has the densest tree canopy of any major American city, which is why locals call it a city in a forest. Atlanta is also a global business capital. Coca-Cola, Delta, Home Depot, UPS, and the old CNN newsroom all built their headquarters here. And it runs on the world's busiest airport. Hartsfield-Jackson moves more passengers than any other, which makes Atlanta one of the cheapest and easiest cities to fly into anywhere. Culturally, this is one of the most important Black cities in America. It is the birthplace of Martin Luther King Jr. and the cradle of the civil rights movement. It is also the modern capital of hip-hop and a booming film industry, nicknamed the Hollywood of the South for all the productions shot across the metro. Getting here by road is easy from across the region. Chattanooga is about 2 hours north, Birmingham roughly 2.5 hours west. That central position makes Atlanta a natural anchor for a wider southern road trip through Georgia and its neighbors. So who is Atlanta actually for? History and civil rights travelers get the most meaningful experience, walking the streets where the movement was organized. Families do exceptionally well here, with one of the world's largest aquariums, a strong zoo, and a science museum all inside the metro. Sports fans, food lovers, and anyone drawn to Black music and culture will also find a deep, genuine city rather than a tourist facade. Now the real trade-off. Atlanta sprawls, and it sprawls hard. This is a car city, and its walkable, transit-friendly core is smaller than its size suggests. Traffic is a real cost of visiting, and the region's highways rank among the most congested in the nation during rush hour. For trip length, a long weekend covers the core attractions comfortably. Give it 4 or 5 days if you want day trips and a slower pace. Almost everyone arrives through Hartsfield-Jackson, the world's busiest airport, sitting about 10 miles south of downtown Atlanta. Because it is Delta's main hub and a major hub for others, flights here are frequent and often cheaper than to comparable big cities. The single best way from the airport into the city is the train. MARTA's red and gold lines run straight from inside the domestic terminal. That train reaches the downtown core in about 20 minutes for a flat fare of around $2.50, far faster and cheaper than a car in traffic. A rideshare from the airport to downtown or Midtown runs roughly $30 to $40 depending on demand and time of day. If you are driving in, the region is laced with interstates. Interstate 75 runs north toward Tennessee, Interstate 85 heads northeast to the Carolinas, and Interstate 20 crosses east to west. Nashville and Charlotte each sit around 4 hours out, so many visitors fold Atlanta into a larger southern loop by car. Now the key decision, do you need a car here? The real answer is that it depends heavily on what you plan to do. If you are staying in downtown or midtown and sticking to the main sites, you can manage on MARTA, rideshare, and your feet. But the moment you want Stone Mountain, a Braves game, or the outer neighborhoods, a car or steady rideshare budget becomes close to essential. MARTA is the rail backbone, with 4 color-coded lines covering the airport, downtown, midtown, Buckhead, and Decatur. The catch is coverage. MARTA runs north to south and east to west in a simple cross and misses many of the trendy Eastside neighborhoods entirely. For places like the BeltLine, Inman Park, and Virginia Highland, you will lean on rideshare, which is cheap and plentiful across the city. Fares are simple and low. A single ride is about $2.50, a day pass runs around $9, and a weekly pass is roughly $24 on a reloadable Breeze card. The one truly walkable spine is the Atlanta BeltLine, a former rail corridor turned into a paved trail linking Eastside parks and neighborhoods. The Eastside Trail is perfect on foot or by rented bike, connecting Piedmont Park, Ponce City Market, and a string of breweries and restaurants. Rideshare is the default for most visitors here. Typical in-town Uber and Lyft trips land in the $10 to $20 range outside of surge pricing. If you drive, budget for parking. Downtown and Midtown garages commonly run $15 to $30 a day, and they surge hard near stadiums on event nights. A quick warning on traffic. The downtown connector, where Interstate 75 and 85 merge through the center, clogs badly at rush hour, so plan around it. Atlanta has no single tourist district, so your neighborhood choice really shapes the trip. 4 main zones cover almost every visitor. Downtown is the convention and attractions core, and the most logical base for a first-time visitor focused on the big sites. A downtown base puts the whole Centennial Park cluster of sites, from the Aquarium to the Civil Rights Museum, within a few walkable blocks. Rooms here skew toward large business hotels like the Marriott Marquis, the Omni, the Hyatt Regency, and the towering Westin Peachtree Plaza. The clear downside of downtown is that it empties out at night. Off convention days, the streets can feel quiet and businesslike after dark. Midtown is the strongest all-around pick for most travelers, blending culture, green space, restaurants, and reliable transit in one walkable stretch. From Midtown, you are minutes from the High Museum, the Fox Theater, Piedmont Park, and the Atlanta Botanical Garden, with 2 MARTA stations nearby. Midtown hotels range from the plush Four Seasons and Lowe's down to solid mid-range options, and the area stays lively into the evening. Buckhead is the upscale district, built around luxury shopping at Lenox Square and Phipps Plaza, and a cluster of high-end hotels. This is where you find the Whitley, the Grand Hyatt, and the St. Regis, along with polished dining and a livelier late-night scene. Buckhead's trade-off is that it is more spread out and car-oriented, so expect to ride-share between destinations more than you would Midtown. The fourth option is the Eastside, meaning Old Fourth Ward, Inman Park, and Virginia Highland, best reached through short-term rentals rather than hotels. These neighborhoods put you on the BeltLine, steps from Ponce City Market, and the city's best independent dining with a genuine local feel. One more base to consider is Decatur, a walkable small city just east with its own square, restaurants, and MARTA access, popular with visitors wanting a quieter stay. On nightly rates, budget hotels typically run in the $70 to $110 range, and comfortable mid-range rooms average around $120 to $160. Upscale and luxury properties usually start near $200 and climb from there, spiking sharply during major conventions and big sporting events. For couples and first-timers, Midtown is the safest all-around bet. Families lean downtown for the walkable attractions, and luxury shoppers pick Buckhead. A points note worth flagging: the Four Seasons and the St. Regis participate in the American Express Fine Hotels and Resorts program if that is your game. One thing to avoid is booking a cheap hotel way out by the airport unless you have a very early flight. The savings rarely justify the distance. Atlanta rewards a visitor who mixes marquee attractions, deep civil rights history, and easy green space, so start with what the city is best known for. The Georgia Aquarium is the headline attraction and one of the largest aquariums in the world, home to whale sharks and beluga whales. Adult admission runs around $50 to $55, and it is worth booking online for a timed slot. Give it a solid 3 hours. Right next door sits the World of Coca-Cola, a self-guided museum to the hometown brand with a tasting room of drinks from around the world. Admission is roughly $20, and most visitors spend about 90 minutes, making it an easy pairing with the aquarium in a single morning. Also in that downtown cluster is the College Football Hall of Fame, an interactive shrine to the sport with a 3-story wall of helmets and an indoor field. Tying the district together is Centennial Olympic Park, the downtown legacy of the 1996 Games, with a fountain of rings that kids run through on hot days. The most meaningful stop in Atlanta is free. The Martin Luther King Jr. National Historical Park preserves his birth home, church, and tomb in Sweet Auburn. You can walk through the neighborhood where the movement was organized, visit historic Ebenezer Baptist Church, and stand at the King Center reflecting pool. Pair it with the National Center for Civil and Human Rights downtown, which links the American civil rights struggle to human rights movements worldwide. Admission there is about $20, and the exhibits, including a lunch counter simulation, land harder than almost any other attraction in the city. Midtown is the cultural anchor. The High Museum of Art is the leading art museum in the Southeast, with a bold Richard Meier building. Nearby, the Fox Theater is a lavishly restored 1920s movie palace that now hosts touring shows beneath a ceiling painted like a night sky. Also in Midtown, the Center for Puppetry Arts holds a huge collection of Jim Henson creations, a genuine surprise hit with kids and adults alike. For green space, Piedmont Park is Atlanta's answer to Central Park, a free, sprawling lawn with a skyline view that anchors the whole Midtown scene. Beside it, the Atlanta Botanical Garden charges around $25 and is best in spring and during its popular holiday lights display in winter. The single most Atlanta thing you can do is walk or bike the BeltLine's Eastside Trail through the eastern neighborhoods. The trail delivers you straight to Ponce City Market, a giant food hall and shopping complex inside a beautifully restored Sears building. Up top, its rooftop is a carnival called Skyline Park, with midway games, a slide, and some of the best skyline views in the city. Nearby, the graffiti-covered Krog Street Tunnel is a constantly changing canvas of street art and a favorite photo stop between neighborhoods. Grant Park, south of downtown, is home to Zoo Atlanta, where admission runs around $30 and the African and Asian habitats headline the visit. Next to it, historic Oakland Cemetery is a surprisingly beautiful Victorian garden cemetery and a quiet, free way to read the city's history. For natural history, Fernbank Museum out in Druid Hills pairs towering dinosaur skeletons with a walkable old-growth forest on its grounds. The Children's Museum of Atlanta, near Centennial Park, rounds out the downtown family options with hands-on exhibits aimed at younger kids. Buckhead offers the Atlanta History Center, a sprawling campus of exhibits, gardens, and historic homes covering the city's whole story. Its highlights are the elegant Swan House Mansion, familiar from the Hunger Games films, and the enormous restored cyclorama painting of the Battle of Atlanta. History buffs can also visit the Jimmy Carter Presidential Library and Museum, set in green parkland on the edge of the Eastside neighborhoods. Atlanta is a serious sports town, and catching a game is one of the best value evenings out you can plan here. The Braves play baseball at Truist Park, about 10 miles northwest, wrapped in an entertainment district called The Battery, with bars and restaurants. Downtown, Mercedes-Benz Stadium hosts the Falcons and Atlanta United, while the Hawks play basketball nearby at State Farm Arena. For a distinctly modern Atlanta detour, the Trap Music Museum celebrates the city's outsized role in shaping today's hip-hop, an experience you will not find elsewhere. For a break from concrete, the Chattahoochee River threads the northern edge of town, where locals raft, kayak, and tube a stretch they call Shooting the Hooch. Now for itineraries, starting with a classic first-timer 2-day plan built around the 2 core zones. Day 1 is downtown. Start at the Georgia Aquarium at opening, cross to the World of Coca-Cola before lunch, then spend the afternoon at the Civil and Human Rights Museum. Wrap Day 1 with a stroll through Centennial Olympic Park and dinner downtown, keeping the whole day on foot within a few walkable blocks. Day 2 shifts to Midtown. Begin at the High Museum in the morning, then picnic or walk in Piedmont Park through the early afternoon. Spend the late afternoon on the BeltLine's Eastside Trail, ending at Ponce City Market for dinner and the rooftop before heading back. For history-focused travelers, build 2 days around the civil rights story rather than the theme park sites. Start at the King Historical Park early, giving it a couple of hours before the midday crowds build in Sweet Auburn. Spend the afternoon at the National Center for Civil and Human Rights downtown, then add the Apex Museum in Sweet Auburn for Black history context. On day 2, tour the Atlanta History Center in Buckhead in the morning, then visit the campus of the historically Black colleges in the Atlanta University Center. For families, plan a 2-day loop around the city's excellent kid attractions. Day 1 hits the Georgia Aquarium and World of Coca-Cola downtown, with the Skyview Ferris wheel or Lego Discovery Center as an afternoon add-on. Day 2 goes to Zoo Atlanta in Grant Park in the morning, then Fernbank Museum or the Center for Puppetry Arts in the afternoon. For outdoor-minded visitors, the itinerary is the BeltLine plus a day trip. Spend a morning renting bikes on the Eastside Trail, threading Piedmont Park, breweries, and Ponce City Market at your own pace. Then give a full day to Stone Mountain Park, about 20 miles east, for hiking the Granite Dome, the cable car, and the evening laser show. Thrill seekers can swap that for Six Flags Over Georgia, a large theme park about 20 minutes west, loaded with major roller coasters. Atlanta is one of the great eating cities in the South, built on 3 pillars: soul food, a wings obsession, and a booming modern dining scene. Start with the local signature. Atlanta is the spiritual home of the lemon pepper wing, and ordering them lemon pepper wet is a genuine local rite of passage. Beyond wings, the classics run deep: fried chicken and waffles, shrimp and grits, fried green tomatoes, pimento cheese, and collard greens. Save room for dessert because peach cobbler, banana pudding, and Coca-Cola cake all show up on menus, washed down with very sweet iced tea. The city's other food secret is Buford Highway, an international corridor northeast of Midtown packed with Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese, and Mexican restaurants. For value and authenticity, Buford Highway is arguably the best ethnic dining stretch in the entire Southeast, and it rewards the drive out. Now some specific places, starting with the icons. The Varsity Downtown is the world's largest drive-in, serving chili dogs and onion rings since 1928. For classic Southern comfort food, Mary Mac's Tea Room in Midtown has been ladling out fried chicken and pot liquor since 1945. For barbecue, Foxborough's BBQ is the local favorite, a Texas-influenced smokehouse that consistently earns some of the highest ratings in the city. For breakfast, the Atlanta Breakfast Club downtown is famous for chicken and waffles, though be ready to wait in line on weekend mornings. At the higher end, Del Bar in Inman Park and Buckhead serves outstanding modern Persian and Middle Eastern food, one of the best reviewed spots in town. For a cheap, consistently excellent bite, Real Tacos in Midtown is a local favorite and one of the highest-rated casual spots in the whole city. For a special occasion dinner, Fogo de Chão serves Brazilian churrasco with endless tableside cuts, while Rumi's Kitchen in Midtown does elevated Persian to a devoted following. Right on the BeltLine, Ladybird Grove and Mess Hall runs a camp-themed patio that captures the trail's easygoing, outdoor brunch energy. Food halls are the smart move for groups who cannot agree. Ponce City Market and Krog Street Market both pack dozens of vendors under one roof. Over in West Midtown, Chattahoochee Foodworks offers a newer, equally strong haul if you happen to be based on that side of town. For a taste of old Atlanta, the Sweet Auburn Curb Market has sold produce and prepared food since 1918, mixing classic stalls with new vendors. The craft beer scene is strong too, with Sweetwater, Monday Night, and New Realm all pouring. The last one right on the BeltLine's Eastside Trail. Out on Buford Highway, the sprawling Buford Highway Farmers Market is a destination in itself, an international grocery where you can graze foods from a dozen countries. Now, here is how to eat your way through a perfect Atlanta day, moving neighborhood by neighborhood. Start with a big Southern breakfast, either the chicken and waffles at the Atlanta Breakfast Club or a plate of biscuits and sawmill gravy. Walk it off on the BeltLine's Eastside Trail, then land at Ponce City Market's Central Food Hall for a relaxed graze everything lunch. In the afternoon, do as locals do and grab a round of lemon pepper wings from a neighborhood wing spot to hold you over. For dinner, go upscale at Del Bar in Inman Park or keep it classic and Southern with a full spread at Mary Mac's. Close the night with dessert, a slice of peach cobbler or Coca-Cola cake, and if you drink, a Georgia peach bourbon cocktail. On price, a cheap but satisfying meal runs about $10 to $15. while a mid-range dinner for two lands around $60 to $80. Fine dining climbs from there, with a top-tier dinner for two often running $120 or more before drinks and tip. For coffee and cake, Cafe Intermezzo in Midtown is a Viennese-style dessert house with a glass case of pastries and famously late hours. And since this is Georgia, chase down fresh peaches in summer when roadside stands and menus turn them into cobbler, ice cream, and more. Breakfast near the hotel zones is easy, with strong independent coffee shops and southern breakfast spots scattered across Midtown and downtown. Atlanta is an affordable major city, especially on flights and food, though attraction tickets and rideshare can quietly add up over a few days. Here is a realistic daily budget per person, broken into 3 tiers, covering lodging, food, activities, and getting around. On a budget day of roughly $75, you split a rental or take a budget hotel, eat casual, and lean on MARTA's $9 day pass. That tier keeps food around $25 to $30, with counter-service meals, and fills days with free sites like Piedmont Park and the King Historical Park. A moderate day runs about $150 per person. That covers a mid-range hotel share, sit-down meals, one paid attraction, and a couple of ride shares. At this tier, budget around $50 for food, $20 to $30 for an attraction like the Aquarium, and the rest for a comfortable room and transport. A comfortable day sits around $250 or more per person, with an upscale hotel, fine dining, multiple attractions, and rideshare or a rental car. 2 categories deserve a warning. Attraction tickets are not cheap, so a family hitting the aquarium and the zoo can spend real money fast. And while transit itself is cheap, the city's limited rail coverage means most visitors quietly spend more on rideshare than they expect. The offsetting good news is that Atlanta's flights and hotels tend to run cheaper than in comparable coastal metros, thanks to that giant airport. To put that in perspective, a typical day in Atlanta runs about $150 versus about $120 in Knoxville and $175 in Anchorage, right about the middle among these cities. Atlanta has a warm, humid climate with a long, sticky summer and short, mild winters, so timing your visit really changes the experience. The clear best windows are spring, roughly April into May, and fall, from September into October, when the weather is at its most comfortable. April is close to ideal. Highs sit around 25 degrees Celsius in the upper 70s Fahrenheit, with the lowest humidity and the famous dogwoods in bloom. One spring caveat, Atlanta's pollen is legendary, dusting the whole city yellow with pine pollen in late March and April, so allergy sufferers should plan ahead. May stays lovely and warm, with highs near 26 degrees Celsius, around 79 Fahrenheit, before the real summer heat sets in. Summer, from June through August, is hot and humid, with highs near 32 degrees Celsius, around 90 Fahrenheit, and frequent afternoon thunderstorms. If you visit in summer, plan outdoor activities for the morning and save the aquarium, museums, and other indoor sites for the stormy afternoons. Fall is the other sweet spot. September and October bring the fewest rainy days of the year, with mild days settling into the low 20s Celsius, the 70s Fahrenheit. Fall also brings Southern football fever, with college game days and the Falcons filling the city, a fun energy if you enjoy the atmosphere. Winter is short and generally mild, with January highs around 9 degrees Celsius in the upper 40s Fahrenheit and only occasional hard freezes. The one winter wildcard is ice. Atlanta gets little snow, but a rare ice storm can shut the whole car-dependent city down for a day or two. On the upside, winter has its own draw, from the Botanical Gardens Holiday Light Show to festive events around the December holidays. Now the events worth planning around, because several of Atlanta's signature festivals are reason enough to time a trip. In mid-April, the Atlanta Dogwood Festival fills Piedmont Park with a free fine arts market timed to the spring bloom, one of the Southeast's premier art festivals. Over Memorial Day weekend in late May, the Atlanta Jazz Festival stages one of the country's largest free jazz events, again in Piedmont Park. Every 4th of July, the AJC Peachtree Road Race sends roughly 60,000 runners down Peachtree Street in the world's largest 10K road race. In September, Music Midtown draws big headlining acts to Piedmont Park for the city's marquee music festival, so expect hotels to fill up. One more to know about: DragonCon, a massive science fiction and fantasy convention over Labor Day weekend that takes over downtown and books out hotels. If crowds and high room rates are your concern, the trade is simple. Peak festival weekends are lively but pricey, while midsummer and midwinter run cheaper and quieter. The single best overall window is April into May, when the weather peaks, the dogwoods bloom, and the festival calendar is in full swing. Atlanta is a straightforward American city for logistics, so the on-screen card covers the universals: cards everywhere, standard US plugs, and easy English. Tipping follows the national norm, which means about 18 to 20% at sit-down restaurants and $1 or $2 per drink at bars. Mobile coverage is strong across the metro on all the major carriers, and free Wi-Fi is common in hotels, cafes, and the airport. One distinctly Atlanta note: this is a major film and television hub, so parts of Midtown and the airport may look familiar from Marvel movies and hit shows. Now, the part that actually matters here, which is a clear-eyed read on safety. Atlanta's crime is real, but heavily concentrated in specific areas. The main visitor zones, meaning Midtown, Buckhead, the downtown attractions core, and the BeltLine, are generally fine by day and reasonably busy at night. Apply normal big city caution after dark, stick to populated streets, and be aware that downtown can empty out and feel deserted once conventions let out. One specific tip: car break-ins are the most common crime tourists actually encounter, so never leave anything visible in a parked car. And respect the summer heat, pace outdoor plans for the morning, hydrate constantly, and save the hottest, most humid afternoon hours for air-conditioned museums. For packing, think in a few clear categories, because Atlanta's weather and its mix of casual and upscale settings both shape what you bring. For clothing, pack breathable layers, since you will move between hot streets and heavily air-conditioned interiors many times a day. Add a light rain jacket or a packable umbrella for those summer afternoon storms, plus one dressier outfit if you plan on upscale Buckhead dining. For footwear, comfortable, well-worn walking shoes are essential given the BeltLine and the distances between sites, with sandals a good idea in summer. For gear, bring a battery pack for long sightseeing days, a reusable water bottle for the heat, and sunscreen for the strong southern sun. Finally, the mistakes first-time visitors make here, because avoiding them will save you real time and frustration. The biggest one is underestimating the sprawl. Do not assume you can walk between districts, and never plan tight timing across the highways at rush hour. The second is basing yourself downtown, expecting a lively, walkable neighborhood at night. It is built for conventions, so Midtown is the livelier all-around base. The third is skipping the civil rights sites for another mall or theme park. The King Historical Park is free and the most meaningful thing in the city. Fourth, be careful booking over big event weekends like DragonCon or a major game when hotel rates surge and rooms sell out across the metro. And skip Underground Atlanta, the much-hyped downtown retail complex that consistently underwhelms visitors, in favor of Ponce City Market or the BeltLine. So where does that leave Atlanta? It is a big, affordable, culturally deep southern metro that rewards curiosity more than it rewards a casual stroll. It is best for history travelers who get the single most important civil rights landscape in the country, much of it free to walk. It suits families exceptionally well, with a world-class aquarium, a strong zoo, and enough science and puppetry to fill several days. And it rewards food lovers, from lemon pepper wings and soul food to the international feast waiting out on Buford Highway. Sports fans and music and culture enthusiasts round out the list, drawn by pro teams, historic venues, and the city's outsized role in hip-hop. It is a weaker pick for travelers who want a compact, walkable, European-style city they can explore entirely on foot. It also frustrates anyone unwilling to use a car or rideshare, since the best of the metro sprawls well beyond the rail lines. The value verdict is clear. For the depth of history, food, and family attractions on offer, few American cities give you this much for the money. Come for a long weekend, base yourself in Midtown, and aim for that April into May window if your schedule allows. That's our guide to Atlanta, Georgia. Everything mentioned is linked in the description below. If you are planning another trip, we have more guides waiting for you. And if you haven't yet, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Thanks so much for watching.